Now we're live. I don't know if you guys saw me, but I tried going live a couple of times and I don't know. It just kept on spinning. So if you didn't see me, well, I'm here now. So appreciate y'all joining me here. Jaden, first one in the chat. Uh, yeah, last week we missed. So hopefully we can catch up tonight. And it's about 44 in here right now in the barn. So yeah, outside, I believe it's, let me see here, 4. It's terrible outside. Let me find that real quick. Yep, it's bad. Yeah, outside. I went to town twice today, and just walking into the stores, you could feel everything, every liquid in your head, just freezing. It was awful. Yeah, -7 this morning. It was awful. What's up? Thank you all for being here. Appreciate you. Yeah, feeling much better. Last week, wasn't feeling good Wednesday night, and so I thought we would push it back to Thursday because I thought, well, I'll feel better tomorrow. And sure enough, Thursday came around and I felt just as bad. So by about Saturday, I was feeling better. Sunday was probably like when I actually felt back to normal. But yeah, it's been January so far. I hope you've all had a great 2025 so far. It has been absolute chaos with all of the snow and ice and all of the snow days. So Molly starting her new job at the school and then having snow days the first week and then getting back to the new schedule this past week. It's been chaos. And especially with all of the snow, I feel like I've already started to get that cabin fever feeling where I'm like, all right, I'm done. I usually I don't know. When I was younger, I hated the snow. When I was like in high school, I couldn't skate. I couldn't really get out and do anything. As I've gotten older, I typically don't mind the colder months. I don't mind winter as much, but these days, especially right now, I don't know what it is, but I've just been needing to get out of the house, or I've just been wanting to, just because I feel like we've all just been going stir crazy. So luckily, I believe tomorrow the kids had snow days yesterday and today, just because of the cold. We didn't get any more snow, but the cold has been so bad that it's just not safe for the kids to be out waiting on the bus and everything. So yeah. Also last week, another thing that we missed, or that I missed, I believe it was last week, the Leica SL3S that came out last week, and I tried it out. Well, I made a video with it. I didn't actually make a video on the SL3S. I was planning on it, and then I just kind of, as time was, getting closer and closer to the release of the camera, and also in the midst of like all of the snow days and everything, I just had that feeling where I was like, I don't know if I'm going to make a video on it right now. Let me know if you guys want a video on the SL3S, or if you have any questions right now. I figured we could at least talk about it tonight. But yeah, I got to try out the SL3S. I made a video with it. It was one of the last videos, and it was a video in December, I believe. Barn log. Oh no, what's going on with the camera? Oh no, is it frozen? Like actually too cold? I think I have a auto shut off thing on there. Let me turn that off real quick. Let's see here. Back. Are we back? Come on, come on. Are we still here? Are we here? Can you see me? Can you hear me? Let's see. Hey, come on. Can you see me? I don't know. We're just chilling. Are we back? you'll probably just go to his house to do it. Can you guys see me or not? I don't know. I have no idea yet. Yes. Okay, now everyone's okay, cool. I have absolutely no idea what is causing that. So right now, just to talk IT and tech with all of my fellow photography and video nerds, I'm shooting this with the Z8. I'm running this into my Elgato Camlink 4K, and I'm running that into my MacBook Pro. So I'm not using like OBS or any kind of camera switcher or anything, just running it into my MacBook. So Cam, you're the man. I appreciate you, dude. Thank you. Thank you, man. Yeah, so I don't know what the issue is. I have the Z8 currently plugged in. It has power delivery on. The like high temperature cutout, which we're definitely not having that issue tonight. That is also set to high, so it's not going to cut out if it gets too hot. Oh, what's up, Abby? Awesome. Hope you and Logan are doing well. Good to see you here. Yeah, I don't know what's causing this on the Z8. So we're still figuring things out here. I should have just honestly set up the Osmo Pocket 3. That thing is not like perfect at really anything, but it's pretty useful in a lot of different things. And one of the things is using it as a webcam. So I probably should have done that. I'm also going to set my microphone back down now since it seems as if things are working. Yeah, the Z8 video is awesome. I love this Z8. I bought one. I was heavily like on the fence on it for a couple of months. I'd been testing one out from KEH, and no, the Z8 is not set to auto shut off. I have all of that. Like I just went through all of the menu while I was behind the camera, checking like everything I could possibly think of. And yeah, I have no idea. Clipper, wait, your name's Matt, if I remember right. The cold kills IT. Okay, so one thing I was genuinely curious about, I've always heard people say like cold's not good for your electronics. Is that just like in use, or is that like just in general? Because I've been like heating the barn not 24/7 with this heater, but like every day I've been just running it for at least like 8 hours, and it's held the temperature pretty well in here, like above freezing. But yeah, it's just one of those things where I don't know. I feel like everything is fine, but then stuff like this happens, and I'm like, oh, maybe this isn't good. But one of the plans is to essentially, once I get, well, I guess I have a couple more shelves I need to get to, but the installation is, oh no, we're back. Oh my God. Oh, listen. All right. If you're here with me right now, maybe this will do it. If we have to do it this way, where you're seeing me through all of this, I have no idea. Again, all of the auto settings are not, everything is set to stay on, but here we go. I'm going to have to keep an eye on this. Yeah, this is not good. Yeah, exactly. You guys get to see like a live, let me cover up the eye. Now it's going to focus on my hand. And I haven't ramped up the sensitivity or anything. This is all just default settings, but you're going to see exactly what the Z8 looks like shooting with it. So yeah, Jeremy, evidently the Z8 isn't built for cold weather. I genuinely have no idea what's going on because, again, it's plugged in. I don't know. Whatever. What do you guys want to talk about before the camera shuts off again? The audio is amazing. Okay, well, good. I'm glad. This setup is super simple. It is also convenient that I can take the mic behind the camera and just walk with it like I was. So that's good. Hopefully the video will get straightened out, but let me get caught up on the chat here. Target locked. Let's see. No, we don't. Oh man. So the audio was probably cutting out when I was refreshing, because I'm just doing this through YouTube's stream. Over the last 2 weeks, I've messed around with OBS a little bit. I have a feeling though that if I started using that right now before I'm like really fluent with it, it would probably be worse than what this stream has been in terms of reliability. So hopefully very soon I can get that like dialed in, and maybe that will make it a little bit easier. But as I've been doing this live stream, I've just been refreshing my Chrome browser and just reloading the page and restarting the stream each time, which I'm kind of, I don't know. I guess I'm surprised. Maybe that's like the only time it cut out. I'm not sure, but OBS is the bane of my existence. Yeah, ATEM Mini. I was looking at those as well, and I'm trying to figure out which route I want to go with. I don't know. Still have shoot the M11? No, I don't. I don't have the M11 anymore. The only, well, I was gonna say the only M, but the only Leica camera I have is my M6. So I don't have the M11. I was using that up until I had the Hasselblad, and I was using the Hasselblad for a while, but I just switched to the Z8 for work reasons, essentially just needing something for work, something that's autofocus capable for like very fast moving things, and just needed something meant for work. But I've talked about that in other videos and I think on previous streams as well. So I've been using the Z8 for 2-3 months now, I want to say, although I've just had this one my own for a few weeks. But yeah, the Z8 so far has been awesome. It's one of those things that it's like great for work, all of the work needs that I have, and even filming stuff. Like I've been using it and shooting a lot of video, just personal video of the family with it, and going back to having a video or shooting with a video, shooting with a camera like specifically for video. Oh my God, here we are again. Oh, I don't know. I think I might just, yeah, I'm just going to launch this again with my webcam. And that's just what we're going to deal with tonight, guys. Drone strike has hit the barn. All right, guys, give me like 30 to 60 seconds. We're back. We're back. We're back. Well, now you see why I use the Z8. This is a, what year did I buy this MacBook? Let's see. This is a 2021 16-inch MacBook Pro. And this is what it looks like compared to the Z8. Yeah, it's funny, like thinking about this format, it's so much simpler. And here's the thing, actually, let's talk about this because we've all just been through something together. I don't know if you all realize that, but we just went through something together with this stream crashing on me over and over. Yeah, exactly, Simon. The feeling of a video like this, and there's even something that I've thought about a lot lately, or just not necessarily lately, but I've kind of been thinking about it over the last year or so about making videos and the tools that I use to make videos and things like that. The DJI Osmo Pocket 3 is, I'm gonna stop knocking the table here. uh, the Osmo Pocket 3 is such an awesome, like, little just camera to have, and it's not perfect at really anything, but it's it's very useful for a lot of things. And I was talking about it earlier, but um, I like the feeling of a video that's just from the camera, like the front facing camera on a phone. Like I will watch or really listen to sometimes, because that's the thing. A lot of the video kind of stuff that I consume is a lot of like sort of video essay or like podcast or long form conversation stuff. That's a lot of the stuff that I like to listen to. And so I'll find myself watching or listening to a video that's half hour, 45 minutes, and it's all shot on, you know, a phone, or sometimes just the front facing camera. So it's even more low quality, you know, but there's something about that that I appreciate. Let's see. I appreciate that. That's awesome though. And Simon, that's, yeah, that feeling of my original videos, just filming with a GoPro in the window light, like just sitting next to the window because that was where the light would be. You know, it was just one of those things that I've been thinking about over the last year or so with YouTube videos, and it's so easy to overcomplicate things. And even with something like this, it's nice to be able to just have something simple like this and it's approachable. I don't know. I enjoy stuff like that. And especially if the audio is going to be good. I don't really care what the video is like. So maybe we'll play it simple for the time being and just run it like this. Let me get caught up on the chat here a little bit. Raffle the Hasselblad for the Common Joe. That would be rad, but I had a YouTube subscriber who had a brand new Z8 and a 35 who was looking to buy the Hasselblad. And basically we worked out a simple trade for his Nikon Z8. And where is it? I think it's down here. And actually someone asked in, I think, one of the comments earlier that I meant to get to, but we were probably interrupted. He had a brand new Z8 and the 35 1.8S Nikon lens. So this is what I currently have right now for my digital setup. Honestly, if I could afford to just like not sell the Hasselblad or, you know, just keep it and buy something else for work, I definitely would have done that. But that's just not the reality that I live in. So that's what I've got. I got the Z8 and this plus cash as well, obviously, which the cash is going to be going towards like everything else. So I didn't just like load up an entire Nikon kit and replacing the X2D. It was just a matter of getting something to kind of get me going and yeah, pay for the real life stuff. So hi from China, Ireland. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate you. How is the Z glass? I'm still using F mount adapted to the Z7. This lens is pretty good. It's not amazing by any means. I mean, it's by my standards, it's a great lens. Like it's a good lens. I'll say that. It's a lens that I would use. I am using for work. I'm totally happy with it. You have to definitely, if you're shooting it wide open, it's going to vignette a lot, like a lot. So you've got to make sure you correct things in post, that kind of stuff. But that's easy. It's just not one of those lenses where it's like, oh, this looks incredible without touching it. You'll need to clean it up a little bit probably. And I'm doing this, or I'm using this on the Z8. So I don't know what the resolution is on the Z7, but you know, a lower resolution than the Z8, even better. So, but yeah, It's by all means, it's a nice lens. But I am kind of curious about the 40 f2. I tried it out for like an hour when I got to try out a ZF, and I just like the compact size of that. I feel like it would be a little bit shorter than this lens. So, but I don't know. It's a great lens for sure. Let's see. Damon finally caught the live. Appreciate you being here. Oh, that's awesome. Cam says, absolutely love the 40. Sharp, but has a hint of character. That's what I like. I like to hear that. And that's, I mean, that's the thing about this lens. Like it's not necessarily like a clinical or perfect lens. So if that's your thing, you know, and it's for being a full frame 35 this fast for, I think new they're around 600, but I see them used from like 400 to 500. So yeah. Let's see. Are you shooting personal stuff with the Z8 too? It's mainly for work, but I've been using it in personal settings, mostly just to like get comfortable with the camera. I mentioned it earlier, like I had Nikon DSLRs for years, but this is my first Nikon Z camera. So I've never owned any of their Z cameras. I've never even tried any other ones except for the ZF for like a couple hours one day. That one my friend had, and he brought it down for the afternoon, and I just shot around with it, and he didn't have a grip on it, and I hated the ergonomics of the camera. But then Frank Young in Cincinnati, I got to try his ZF out because he had a grip attached, and I definitely liked just the feel of the camera a lot more with a grip. So yeah, I could see the ZF being a really good sort of like B cam to the Z8. Because I would see myself probably bringing that around more often. I mean, one of the things I love about the Z8 is the grip and like the size of it. It feels like my old D800 way back in the day. But I also appreciate the smaller cameras for the day-to-day kind of shooting. So I don't know if I'm going to keep shooting with the Z8, and just for work, it's great. If I continue to sort of book more and more paid work this year, I'm still kind of on the fence on how much I want to do that. And it's also just recently changed with Molly. She just got a new job. She's back to work for the first time in a few years. She's just been staying home with the kids for a few years. So now like my Monday through Friday schedule, while she's at work and the kids are at school, I'm home with Forrest. And so my like sort of day-to-day schedule is also shifting. So I'm figuring out how much work I want to book. But for the time being, the Z8, mainly just using it for work and filming the videos. But I'm super, super happy with it. The kind of work I've been doing, it has been mostly all for the school that my daughter goes to and Molly just started working at. So last few years I've been shooting photos for the school. But this past year, I guess school year itself has been like the main sort of, or we kind of started the year with the idea in mind of now I'm going to be shooting there pretty regularly. Not always during the school day. Some of it is, but it's not just the school, but sort of that whole organization. They do a lot of stuff for not just the students with disabilities at the school, but also adults in our county that have developmental disabilities. So they do stuff for the community all of the time. And so pretty much throughout each month, there are different days that I have booked that any event that they have going on, I'm there getting coverage of that. Also at the school, any events, the yearbook photos, all of the students, all the staff, all that kind of stuff. But it's become a lot more regular, and especially with a lot of the students, and I'm going to talk about it in the Z8 video, because that was one of the things. I was using the Lumix system for over a year, and it was awesome. I loved using that system for video specifically, but when I was using it and that setting for photography, the autofocus just wasn't fast enough. If I were shooting something like, I mean, I've shot weddings and things like that for years with cameras that had way worse autofocus than what we have today. So it's not to blame everything on the tool, but in that setting specifically, when I'm there on a job and I need to be able to track the eye specifically and the face, a lot of the kids, the school, it's kids that are all the way from preschool all the way to adulthood, and they have disabilities of all different kinds. And so a lot of the times there's movement that is involuntary with the student. So if I just say, hey, just sit right here and let me take a photo of you, and they're moving back and forth or side to side, or there's just no like face to face interaction there, or even eye contact, and at times, you really have to be like 100% ready for like the fraction of a second that you're going to get the student to actually be engaging with the camera. Not every time, but sometimes, it's very much like you're waiting and you're sometimes in that spot. For us, for shooting the yearbook photos, I mean, we do the entire school in a day, but at times, depending on the student, I might be working with that one student for 10 minutes straight. And then other times it might be 15 seconds and they're in and out. It really depends on the student, how they're feeling that day, just all of the different kind of variables there. So when I was using that camera, the S5 II, again, for video and like 95% of the photo uses, it was great, but I was missing focus on photos that I couldn't miss focus on. And we would think we had the photo and I would check and I'm like, nope, it was just ever so slightly, if the kid was moving or something. And it's not things that they can help, you know what I mean? So it's for that specific job, I realized like autofocus was going to become the new, like, that's my, my deal breaker or whatever. Like that, if it's not going to work for that environment, I can't use it. And so I tested out the Z8 because I'd used other cameras before, but I always loved my Nikon DSLRs. So yeah, I got the Z8 and it's been amazing for that. And so it's not like my favorite camera because I don't know. I do enjoy using it. I don't pick it up like I would my M6 or something and like feel the same way about it. But it's really like, it's just an awesome, good camera to use. So I don't know. I've been really happy with it. I'll be making sort of a getting to know or getting familiar with the camera video soon. But yeah, I can't even remember how we got onto that, but asking about what I was shooting lately. So yeah, that's mostly what I've been shooting, but I also have a wedding coming up in a couple of months. I might be booking more weddings this year. That's again something I'm still kind of weighing my options on, just deciding how much I want to book. I don't know yet, but we'll see. Pentax 17 and Rolly 35 new samples coming up. My friend Tyler has the Pentax 17. I'm letting him just borrow it indefinitely because I haven't been using it. And the Rolly 35, I shot an entire roll. Actually, I think I did 2 rolls with that camera now, and the film did not catch properly each time. So I think I might be done there. That's not to dunk on the Rolly 35. That's just to say, hey, maybe I'm just not the photographer for that camera. If it doesn't want to take my film twice, maybe it's me, So no, I probably won't be doing anything on either of those on the channel. That new is it Analog? Is that the name of the company that's making a new point and shoot camera? How are we feeling about the point and shoots? I feel like the last 2 have come out and it's been very polarizing. I was excited about the Rolly 35 and then, yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those things. Oh, the analog one is $700. Is it really? Okay. Yeah. I haven't really been paying attention. I've seen a couple ads, but I don't know. New cameras like that, I don't know. I feel like I've just gotten kind of burnt on it. I don't know. Like it's a lot of, I don't even know how to describe it. I don't know who they're making them for. These analog point and shoots are the crypto of photography. Yes, that's how it feels, where I'm just like, I don't know. McKinnon just had a teaser. Who, Kate McKinnon from SNL? All about the new Widelux. Hell yeah. Yeah, new Widelux would be amazing. That's one that I'm super interested to see what happens there. Friday night post party, Simon decided to surprise. Oh, really? Oh, wow. How is it? Or wait, did you pre-order it, Simon? Is that what you're saying? Any plans to show printing workflow with online printers? Online printers as in like printing over Wi-Fi? Or are you saying like printing out, like, what was that printing company called? I can't remember who I used to go through for work. The T3. Oh, wow. Aren't rangefinders just an upscale point and shoot? I wouldn't go that far, but I mean, they're faster than point and shoots once you get used to them, for sure. Especially if you're, just like scale focusing and you're shooting at, 5.6 or f8. Anything beyond f8, it is definitely just all point and shoot. I mean, depending on the lens, of course, but for a 28 or a 35, which I feel like is maybe the most common focal length on rangefinders, that'd be interesting to find out. I feel like 35 would have to be, I don't know if it would have to be, but 35, I would think, would be the most common focal length on a rangefinder. Not just Leicas, but just any rangefinder. Like true rangefinders, 35's got to be the one, right? And a Ferrari is an upscale Civic. Isaac Mendez, you're not late. You're right on time. Let's see here. Biggest gripe with point and shoots, small delay between pressing. Yeah, that's the thing. The delay on a point and shoot, for it to, the little, you have focus locked, but then you press the shutter, and you got to give it that little split second for the lens to focus forward. You mash the shutter button down, and if it's not like super, super fast, you've got to shoot before you see what it is you're about to shoot, Hell yeah. Yeah, I get that. I like the idea of the new film cameras, but right now I'd rather invest in vintage film cameras and pay to have them restored. Better quality cameras, and you are incentivizing the repair shops. Yeah, I fully get that. I feel like there are so many more people now that are working on older cameras. Like, I'm seeing younger people, it seems like, getting more and more into it, which is really encouraging, because eventually, like, we're going to need more people. There have been a lot of people who have been around since before digital that have been working on cameras and that are still working today. But eventually we're going to need people who are, they are learning all of this, like, starting now. They're going to start, tearing apart old film cameras and learning how to work on them. We're definitely going to need that. Digital or film for photo books, either one. Doesn't matter. I've got, I mean, yeah, any great work is great work, and any great book doesn't matter. Camtronics in Columbus. Oh, right on. I don't know about that one. Camtronics. I'll have to look them up. That's rad. Yeah, the fact that Leica will still repair their cameras is great. Man, speaking of that, the SL3S, I was talking about it earlier. I filmed a video. I think it was the barn log video in December. I filmed that with the SL3S, and I didn't make the video on the SL3S, but I will say, if I were to buy an SL3 or an SL3S, I would buy the SL3S, because even though I love the resolution, having that extra resolution on the SL3 is great. The SL3S autofocus is night and day. That, like, when I first tried it out, especially the autofocus in video, immediately I was like, okay, now they've actually caught up. So that's one of the things that Leica cameras, the SL2, SL3 system specifically, that's always been one of the drawbacks, was the autofocus. And that, I can't remember, they shared with me the increase of essentially like the amount of lines on the sensor that was picking up on the autofocus. Can't remember how they explained it to me off the top of my head a month ago, but it makes sense why the autofocus was that much better. So I was excited to see that not only they brought some, like, they actually have capable autofocus now in cameras, like genuinely capable, but they also did it at a cheaper price than the regular SL3. Granted, you don't have the same resolution and all that, but I was happy to see that. Still, it's one of those things that, like, because I had people asking about the Z8, like why I got the Z8 over the SL3S. The money, mainly, like, for the amount of work that I'm doing, the investing in the SL3S, if I were back to doing weddings like all of the time, maybe I would. But I really like the Z8. I feel like it's, at least the price for a used one, I feel like it's a very good sweet spot for like a very, very, like, it's more camera than I will need. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna hit any walls with that camera at all. But it's also still less expensive than the SL3S. So yeah, that's, I don't know. I kind of went back and forth on it for a while, and I just thought I'm gonna stick with the Nikon, and yeah, that's that. What advice you wish you had when you shot your first wedding? Advice I had when I shot my first wedding. I mean, when I shot my first one, I wasn't thinking at all about, you know, what those photos really mean. Like, I was 18. I didn't know a thing about anything when I shot my first wedding. I was still in high school when I shot my first wedding. So I didn't know the actual weight of a wedding day and like what it really means, you know? And that's something that over time, after Molly and I got married, at that point I had stopped shooting weddings, and I was just like, I'm done. I didn't enjoy them really. I mean, I would have fun with the people, but it wasn't my thing, like, that I really enjoyed doing. But it wasn't until Molly and I got married that I kind of saw it differently and really started to enjoy them. And then, yeah, I got to meet so many cool people through doing that, and like made friends with people through the couples that we got to work with. I guess advice, I mean, think about what those photos are going to be in 10 years. Like, every guest at the wedding the grandparents who might be there, who might not be there in 10 years. Think about like everything that you can possibly shoot. If it were your wedding, like what would you want to make sure you didn't miss? Just keep that in mind and just keep like engaged with it. I feel like that's the best advice I can give, is just like really put yourself in the shoes of the people there. There's a million different things I could say about advice for a wedding day, but if I had to say anything, it would just be that. It would be like really put yourself in their shoes and try to make the photos that you would want to have. If that makes sense. I hope that's helpful. But have fun with it, and just, I don't know. I feel like if you're a people person, or if you enjoy just being around people, which you should be if you're a wedding photographer, yeah. Make sure you grab your vendor meal before the band gets to them. Yeah, that's good advice. Hell yeah. Scanning some negatives right now. Hell yeah. That's something I want to do a lot soon. I haven't been out here much the past couple of weeks because of how cold it's been. But that's something I really want to do now that I have sort of a little scanning setup, a little station set up with all of my negatives out here. So we might be doing that in a new video soon. The pressure and stress is exactly why I stopped doing weddings. Yeah, weddings, there's a lot of stress, but I don't know. I mean, it's like, it's not fun for everybody. So I can't just be like, oh no, it's great, you know? But that pressure and that, like, you know, you're really there documenting something that's happening once. That's what makes it so special and what makes it fun. But at the same time, I do the weddings. I do like, I don't do, what are they called? Destination weddings. I don't do these like big, fancy, looks like it's going to be in a magazine type. Like, I like the weddings that I get to shoot around here. I mean, I got to shoot a lot of different weddings all over the country, especially after this YouTube channel. The amount of photographers that hired me, that was amazing. I got to shoot with so many different photographers for a few years. It was a lot of fun. But I love the weddings around here where it's not, I don't know, when I see like high-end wedding photography or whatever in like big cities or like on the coast, and everything is really a production, that kind of stuff I'm less interested in. I like where it's a lot more like laid back, everyday people. That's my kind of thing. And that's like how I really have fun, I guess, with the wedding photography, is just being around people who were there to celebrate a wedding day and not do like a, you know, magazine shoot. I don't know. I appreciate just the real life, real people, that kind of stuff. Oh, amazing. Tyler, Stanley Gurley, you know it. Let's see. Photo department. Chris, my man. Awesome cameras. Joey's in here. Everybody's in here. Appreciate y'all being here. Let's see. It's okay to be selective with the people's weddings you shoot. If you vibe with the couple, you will probably vibe with their friends. It's exactly what we were talking about in Philly. Yeah. If you, and that's the other thing too, like just word of mouth and people around here. I have a good time with this couple, and they're happy with the photos and they share them, and then their cousin sees them or their friend sees them, or their friend was in the wedding and they had a good time. And so then when that bridesmaid gets married, she wants to hire us. It was a lot of that kind of stuff where it's just, you're connecting with real everyday people. And when you click with people, it just makes the photos that much better. And it just makes it that much more fun as well. And it's not always like that. You know, not every job is perfect, but if you go into it with that kind of mentality of like, one, you're being paid to be there with your camera, like, suck it up. Whatever the issue might be, you're there to work with your camera. Suck it up. That's the way I've always looked at it, is like, I've worked other jobs. I've worked at the shoe store in town, and you know, I've worked Christmas Eve at a retail shop and getting yelled at because we're all sold out of what was it, North Face jackets, when those were all like a hit. I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to go back to working at the movie theater, shoveling popcorn. You know, I don't want to do that. I'll do whatever with a camera. So that's how I've always felt. But when you, I don't know, if you just go into it with that in mind, like, I'm here to document a wedding day for these people and they're paying me to be here with my camera. Like, embrace that and do the absolute best you can, you know? That's what you got to do. Started to home scan because I noticed some film labs adding presets like contrast, color, temperature, exposure, etc. I prefer to edit a flat TIFF file. Is that one of the upsides to home scanning? It definitely is. I think if you're scanning at home, the complete control that you have in the entire process, that's absolutely like the benefit of it. Let's say, and it's not something that would happen often, but if you sent film into a lab and you got your scans back and you weren't happy with them, you wanted them to rescan the film, and they're like, oh, well, it's already on its way back to you. So then it gets back to you, and then you send it back to them, and then they rescan it, and, you know, going through that whole process. If I'm not happy with a scan, if the scan doesn't seem like it's sharp enough, or if the exposure of the scan itself, if it needs to be rescanned for any reason, the fact that I have everything and can do it at any time, and I can do it over and over as many times as I need to. There's a lot of flexibility that you have with scanning your own film. That's one of the benefits for sure. Oh, hell yeah. Going to develop your first film on Friday. Jaden, best of luck. You've got this. I'm excited for you. That's awesome. Yeah, home scanning is also cheaper as well. That is for sure. And there's so many different things out now that, like, I mean, I've been using the same setup for like 4 years from Negative Supply, but Negative Supply makes a ton of gear. That Veloy, I've seen a bunch of different brands that are all making things. So like, it's way more accessible now than it was when I first started doing it in, I want to say like 2018. I believe it was 2018, maybe early 2019 when I started scanning like that. And I've been doing it that way, unless it goes to a lab. Sometimes I'll send stuff to the darkroom. If like I'm shooting color film, I'll send it to the darkroom, just because I haven't developed color film in about 13 years now, which is crazy. 13, maybe 12 years. I just don't care to deal with Blix and all of that and the temperatures. I like being able to just be lazy and develop at room temperature, where my jugs of water, just being able to develop black and white film like that. So, yeah, yeah, there's a lot of benefits to home scanning and home developing for sure. Been struggling with vignetting on my home DSLR scans. What's your aperture, John, with your scanner setup? What are you like exposing, or you know, you get the idea. What's your macro lens set to? Because that could possibly be the issue, or I guess depending on your light source, if the light source isn't like evenly, it'd have to be a pretty small light source though to not, I guess, not light up the negative evenly. Let me see here. More skate content. Kevin, what's up, dude? Sorry, I just saw this. I'm catching up on the streams or the chat, seeing if I missed anything. More skate content, for sure. I don't know what yet, but there will be more. Have you shot a wedding with a Leica M film or digital? Just curious. I think it's difficult with manual lenses, black and white film, color combo. Sorry, Murphy. I just now saw this. Yes. I used to use my M10, and I never shot any weddings with the M11, but the M10P that I had, I used that on weddings, that in conjunction with an SL2. Those two was a really nice combo. The SL2 I mostly used for the portraits, the details. I mean, I used it most throughout the day. Like that was the main camera. The M10P was sort of the B cam. I used that a lot, like during the ceremony, during the reception, during the like beginning of the day. That was really where I used it a lot. A lot of the photos of the bride and the bridesmaids getting ready, their hair and makeup, that kind of stuff. Just the same way I would use my M6 or the M10P for that matter at home with my family. I would use it the same way on a wedding day and just try to document things with it. That was how I mostly used it. If I were using it only an M for an entire wedding day, I don't know how well that would go, because depending on your aperture, it is going to be tough to shoot all manual focus. Again, depending on what you're shooting, but especially for portraits and things like that, I really like to be able to see through the lens and know exactly what I'm getting. The last thing I want is to be shooting with a rangefinder, not seeing through the lens and not realize there's something like someone's head getting cut off or something going through someone's head, that kind of stuff. I'm just a lot pickier on composition and things, especially when I'm on the job. So yeah, being able to see through the lens, I think, makes a difference for that. Let's see here. Usually f8 on aperture priority. Huh. Okay, so maybe it's I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why you'd be having that issue, John. Yeah, I guess what focal length is it? Kevin Rodriguez, I appreciate that. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate that. Oh, that reminds me, actually, the channel members. So one of the things that we've talked about, oh yeah, Mel, you brought it up again. Thank you. So Patreon and channel members and all of that stuff. Originally, my plan was, and what we talked about was, for $5, $4.99 on Patreon and on YouTube. If you just want to do through YouTube a channel member, that'll be for the month or the weekly live streams, except for the first one each week, or first week of each month. That one I was going to have just open to everybody, but I changed my mind. We're going to do just every week. It's all public. Each week, the Wednesday night live stream, it's going to be just free and public to everybody. It's not going to be just the first one. It's going to be every stream. So the weekly live stream is not going to be exclusive to channel members or Patreon or anything like that. It's just the stream is going to be public. So with the channel members and Patreon, if I can figure that out, still haven't figured out why it's linked to someone else named Matt Day when I am, yeah, it's a whole mess. But regardless, the channel members or the paid membership tier, do I have a preference? My preference would be through channel members, just here on YouTube. I think that's my preference. From my understanding, I believe Patreon will take less of a cut than YouTube does. However, you also have to like make a Patreon account just to access everything. Everything has to go from YouTube, also linked over to Patreon. I don't like making everyone that I have hanging out with me right here go somewhere else. Like, we're already right here. This is where I've been building everything for over a decade. I really would prefer to just be able to do it here. So that's how I feel about it. I feel like it would just be easier for not just me, but everybody to just do it all through YouTube. However, I think if I can, I'm still going to try to get the Patreon set up for the people who do. I don't know. We'll see. That's kind of how I've been feeling about it. But the channel members, essentially the $5 club, what that would be for is essentially videos that aren't going to be public, so exclusive videos that you can just watch anytime, as well as additional live streams. I don't know necessarily if it will be an additional live stream every single week, or if we'll do a couple bonus streams as well as extra videos. I think a lot of it, honestly, might be this back here. All of these photo books that I have so many books that I could be sharing and just going through, flipping through everything and just talking. The problem is, oh, Kevin, you didn't have to do it. You didn't have to send another one, but thank you, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, Mel, we all have YouTube accounts already. Exactly. Channel member video chats. Yeah, there we go. That would be rad as well. Something like that would be super cool. Oh, Richard, yes, I got you. If Bike Lane ever sells, which I can't say that I would want to, you got first dibs. But the thing is, like, all of these books, I would love to just make videos flipping through the books, sharing a little bit of commentary, my thoughts as I flip through it. I would love to be able to do that without the thought of YouTube analytics and how every time a photo book video goes up, I know most of my audience, it seems, that's like one of the main things I always hear is like, dude, I love the book videos. I love the book videos. That's always what I hear, which is amazing. But if you look at the numbers, it's always the worst, the least performing videos. And I don't know what that does to the algorithm or my channel's standings in YouTube's eyes. I have no idea. But putting out like a 20 to 30 minute video on all of the books that I love or am enjoying at the moment, and YouTube is just like, oh, we don't want to, we're not going to share this. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if it affects it or not. And I don't know if I'm just like shooting myself in the foot, but I enjoy those kind of videos. And obviously there are at least some of you who really do enjoy them. So I'm kind of thinking like that might be sort of where not all, but a lot of photo book kind of content will live, is sort of behind the $5 a month channel members thing, where if you want to just see long form videos, like not a ton of editing and cutting out, a lot more of just stuff like this and flipping through books, that way it's not only limited to live streams. And I would like to be able to sort of create a not a playlist, but like, a little library of videos for people who want that kind of thing. The long form, let's flip through a book, let's talk about it. And you can rewatch it and see it anytime. Like, that to me seems a lot more interesting, and I can specifically take the books that you guys want to see. I feel like something like that would be really, that would make sense for that. And it would just take a lot of that like mental pressure, I guess, off of it, where I don't have to worry about, is this going to perform well as a YouTube video? Since this is like what I do, I can just focus on sharing books with people who also love photo books. So let me know what you all think of that for the channel members, but that's what I'm thinking. And it's going to be $4.99. I don't think I want to do any other tiers. I like the idea of it just being simple, just $5 a month. And as soon as I say that, the comment, make a higher cost tiers for those that would like to support you more. I appreciate that, man. I really, really appreciate that. That's what I was just about to say. Like, I don't know how, uh, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I have had a hard just do it. I appreciate it, man. I have been saying that I was going to do the whole channel members, like relaunch all of this. I've been saying that I was going to do it for like the last almost 3 years now. And I've just been like, I don't need to do that. But I might do something like a $10 tier, something like that. I don't know, or a $7, $8. I don't know yet, but might do something like that. But I guess I want to make sure everything is like valuable to people. Another thing I didn't mention is essentially all channel members. Like if you're a member on the channel, you're in the $5 club. If there's anything on my shop that you ever want to buy, a book, a print, merch, which I'm working on, any of that, if you want to buy it, you'll automatically get a $5 discount. Like there will be a code that I'll give all of the members for stuff like that. Just so if you're already buying, or if you're already like supporting the channel and paying $5 that month and you want to buy something else, I'm just going to go ahead and give you that, we'll call it even, just as a friend discount, friend of mine discount. The $50 tier. Richard, do you want a copy of Friend of Mine? Is that what you're saying? I don't know how many I have. I have like I only have personal copies now. But I mean, if you really, really want one, I will sell one of those to you at the standard price. But yeah, that's the thing. So I want to do something like that where everybody, wait, 100 on eBay. Are you joking? Please, if anyone watching this, if you ever see a book of mine, even if it's an old one, yeah, don't pay $100 for that. No. Don't buy any books on eBay. I'm about to go buy that one now and put it on my site for $50. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been thinking lately for the channel members and stuff. I think, yeah, I want to be able to do these live streams each week to everybody. And for those who do want to support the channel or who want the stuff like that, the photo books, that kind of stuff, and maybe like critiques as well, critique videos. That actually would be another thing I would like to do, not just in a live, but exclusive videos where everyone sends in, or everyone who wants to participate, if you want to send in work to go through like a critique, that would be cool. Not just, I don't know. The critique thing, I feel like I would have some sort of, maybe some kind of direction around it, some sort of perimeters where it's like, we're going to do a critique specifically on this. Maybe we'll keep it loose. I don't know. You guys can give me your thoughts on that, but it's one of those things that's another one where I'm like, it's tricky because I'll be honest. And that's another reason why I don't do the mail videos where like I just share stuff that I get in the mail, because I feel like anytime I see anyone doing that, it's always like everything they get is amazing. And I'm like, do you really genuinely feel that way? Because I don't feel that way about everything I see. Like, I love getting mail and letters and zines and books and everything that people send me, but it's not like everything I get I would be putting on my channel saying like, this is incredible, go follow this person. And there for a while, I feel like that's sort of why people would send stuff. I have a pretty good radar for being able to tell when people are just trying to like play the whole game. And do things just to get something in return. And that just feels gross. That's like one of the gross things about social media and that kind of thing. But I definitely want to do critiques, and I want people to know that, like, I'll be honest. And I don't know that there's nothing wrong with that, but I guess the only reason I say it is because I know that that might not be what people really want when they say they want a critique or they want feedback is the truth. So, yeah, I don't know. Check out what's his name? Dang it. There's a guy on Instagram who reviews like artists, like people submit their account and what's his name? Can I come on as a guest? Yeah, Tyler, be a guest in the videos for sure. Yeah, we are open. That's it. I was like, is it we open? We are open. That's it. I love watching that. I love seeing that. He calls it the dungeon, where people will pay to get their work just full on, reviewed on Instagram, and he'll tear stuff apart in a really great and like interesting way. And that to me, he doesn't do it well. He does somewhat. He does do stuff on some photography that people have submitted. It's a lot of art of all types, but just watching that has made me think more about how to, I guess, relay information when I'm talking about photography, if that makes any sense, or if I were giving critique. It's just opened my eyes up a lot more to that, because like I didn't go to college. I went to college like briefly, but I didn't have like a real photo program where there was like real critiques and things like that. And so I feel like I would have benefited a lot from that kind of stuff. Yeah, their account name is @WeAreOpen. Just we are, just the letter. We are, and then open. Yeah. He critiques art in a way that I can only aspire to understand and see art. And he's a skater too. Exactly. Yeah, it's really interesting to, I don't know, that kind of stuff has made me think about photography in a different way, and again, just like talking about it. So I would like to do some stuff like that, but in the photography sense. And again, just more keep it, behind the channel members, an actual community sense, because like stuff like that, it'd be easy for people who aren't actually here and like hanging like this to just like roll in and just bomb on people's work and then dip out. You know what I mean? I would like it to, I like the idea of actual community. Like there are so many people that I've known and have been around and have talked just through DMs and comments and emails and stuff like that over the years, where there is an actual community here, but I want us to actually be hanging out and, more of that kind of stuff behind the channel members. I feel like that would be, I don't know. That's something I'd really like to do more of, is just lean more into everybody here. Father Matt Dungeon soon. Hell yeah. You, Grainy Days, and Willem Verbeek should do a video together. Me and Willem have done a couple maybe. Can't remember how many at this point. And I just met Jason for the first time in, well, it was a little over a year ago now, in Atlanta. Jason's a super nice dude. He's great. What was more interviews? That's the other thing. You could interview Jason Lee and talk about the new shop. Yeah, Eagle Rock Camera, Chris knows. That's another one that I have not been to, but I would like to. I told him next time I'm there, because he bought copies for the shop. Jason got copies of Surveyor to put in the shop, which was incredible. And I told him, I was like, Baltimore Photo Space stocked the book, and I got to drive them down to Baltimore and hang out and do a little book release party there, which was super cool. But I would have loved to be able to do that to Eagle Rock. So I told him, though, next time I'm in California, I will be making a stop. So that's on the list. But when I do, there will absolutely be a video there. Jason's been on the channel before. If you haven't seen it, he's on probably 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, when In the Gold Dust Rush came out. What year was that? Maybe 2021. He was on the channel then. He was on the podcast that I did way back in the day in about 2016. Shout out if any of you were around back then. By around, I mean you were listening to the podcast. I miss doing a podcast, but at the same time, what the hell am I going to do a podcast about? Would you consider doing lives at other times? It's 3 a.m. in the UK currently, and I try and sleep at appropriate times. Damn. Mel, I appreciate you being here. Lives at other times. If I do it any earlier, my kids are going to be awake, which means my wife is going to be all on her own, which isn't, she's capable, but I also like being able to spend the time with the kids and get them to bed and, be a part of it. So I have to do the live streams after bedtime. Just is what it is. But I appreciate you being here, Mel. Also, I should mention channel members, the weekly live streams that are open to everybody. I think the replays, like if you want to go back and watch the stream, I think those I'm going to leave only available to rewatch for channel members as well. So that's another thing that I was kind of thinking, like, I really just want to try to pack in the perks or whatever of being a channel member. I want it to be valuable. You know what I mean? It's money we're talking about here. This is a podcast. Exactly. See, that's the thing. I appreciate being able to do stuff like this. Honestly, like the idea of people being here each week and like expecting it, it helps keep me accountable in a way where it's like, I don't know if accountable is the right word, but just showing up here week after week, minus last week when I was sick, but you get the idea. Yeah, I enjoy that. That's fair. The tiny humans are more important than weirdos on the internet. No, I appreciate you guys, man. Photo content without flashy graphics and getting yelled at. Yeah, man, I don't know. I think about it all the time where I'm like, I don't know if I'm really cut out for YouTube, and especially nowadays, like, I don't know. It's weird, but I'm glad that I'm able to do my thing the way I've always done it, as stubborn as I am and as much as I like to just, I don't know, do things how I like to do them, even though it might not be the best like strategy, I guess. As I was talking about earlier, like long form book videos, it's probably not the hottest topic on YouTube, but I enjoy it. I'm glad I've been able to do this as long as I have. It's crazy. Like it'll be 11 years this year in May. It'll be 11 years since I started the channel, which that's nuts. I don't know. I'm a bit of an Alex Soth enjoyer myself. You and I both, brother. We got, let me see. I was thinking the other day, at one point, the majority or the photographer that I had the most books from was Elliot Erwitt. And it might be Sage Sawyer now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nope. I think it is still Elliot Erwitt. I've got 8 Elliot Erwitt books. I used to have 9. I gave one. It was basically a smaller version of Dogs. Gave that to my friend Jesse James. Yes, that Jesse James. Where are we at? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I've got 7 books of Sages. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Still Elliot Erwitt. Still the number one book collection, I guess. But yeah, Alex Soth is amazing. Super, super nice guy. Got to visit his studio in 2021 and see his library in person. And oh my God, it's insane. Sure, you're cut out for it, Matt. I'm sure you have skibbity riz. Dude, the amount of stuff that my kids, that Elliot has taught me, the amount of words. Yeah, I'm fluent in youth slang now. Follow-up interview with Sage. I would love to do that. She's so nice. Yeah, I would love to talk to her again. She has a new book coming out. It is let me see. Which one? Oh yeah, it's American Scene. It's a new edition of American Scene. I was thinking it was a different one, but yeah, it would be good to have her on the channel again. Who's that? Jesse James. I was just kidding. Jesse James is a friend of mine from Chillicothe. Yeah, Gen Alpha. Yeah, I'm telling you, man. What was it Elliot said the other day? I don't know. It's funny, like living with my brother, him being around the kids all the time, and just him, like, he doesn't have kids of his own, so him getting to experience some of that all the time is hilarious. Like, he texted me one day. Elliot was over in my brother's living room, and my brother texted me and was like, your son just said, bro, that's a little sus. And I was like, yep. And he's 7. Do you have the white New Balance sneakers? I actually do. They're not those white New Balance, but I do have white New Balance with a navy in on the side. So, but they're not green from mowing the grass yet. I still have them clean. Once I retire that pair, they'll become lawnmower shoes. Let me see if I missed any here. Oh, you got the RB. I just now saw that, Richard. You got the RB, got the 180, and looking at the 50 and 90. I'll add the 127 to the list. So the RB67 was my very first medium format camera. I got it in 2012 from Columbus Camera Group in Columbus. Or wait, was it 2011? No. 2011? Maybe it was 2011. I can't remember. 2011 or 2012. I got the RB67 with the 127 millimeter lens, a 120 back, and a Polaroid back. And talk about like immediate just game changer in terms of everything I was interested in terms of like camera, like that opened up the floodgates. You know, before that, my only film cameras were the Minolta XGM, a handful of like small plastic point and shoots, and Polaroid cameras. That was it. Like, didn't have any other. I did have a Holga 35 millimeter camera, 35 point and shoot. I already said that. Yeah, very limited cameras, and then got the RB67, and that just immediately opened up the floodgates. And after that, I was shooting everything. So hope you enjoy it, man. That's awesome. FM2 is fun, but I wanted to go to the next level. Yep. The FM2 is another amazing camera. Simple, but it's all you need. Man, I really, really enjoy using the FM2. That's always been one of my favorites. Tim, good to see you in here, brother. Appreciate it. Tim, a channel member himself. I'll be buried with my RB, not to get all dark. Hell yeah. Yeah, Tim, I think you've had that one. I'm trying to think how long you've had that RB. As long as I've known you, I'm pretty sure. Matt, I have a surprise for you. I'll DM you later. Oh, God. Cam, what you got? Now I'm curious. Hell yeah. Shoot me a message, man. I bought mine in 2006, and it's been downhill ever since. Hell yeah. That's awesome, man. 2006. That was probably, I had my Minolta at the time. That was all I had. That and a little, trying to think. I started with the Kodak Easy Share digital point and shoot. That was like the one I first started with when I was 13. But then I had another, like a little Samsung, maybe. It's a little silver point and shoot, one of the tiny little, classic point and shoots. I had one of those and the XGM. Currently shooting on the Minolta X700, about to start using medium format as well. Just picked up a Mamiya 645. Hell yeah. That's awesome, man. X700 is another great one. That one is super similar to the XGM that I had. Man. Yeah, the medium format that's when you go from 35 to medium format, it's just so much fun because everything is new and different. Like medium format has so much variety, not just in film formats, but like the cameras are built differently. They're built different. They operate completely differently. And so everything about how you're using the camera changes, and everything about, at least for me with portraits, using like a waist level viewfinder, whether it be an RB67 or if you have a twin lens reflex for portraits, you immediately notice like the difference that camera, or using a camera like that, it just disarms people in a way that like it just makes it fun for not just the photographer. Like all of a sudden the subject is interested in the different camera that you're shooting with, and then that leads into better photos because there's just this like, you're connecting on something other than just I'm here to be photographed, and you're trying to like get comfortable. Just something as simple as that. It's just so much fun. Yeah, I get excited when people mention that they are like just getting into it, or they just got their first medium format camera, because that's such a fun time where everything is new. And yeah, I don't know. I wish I had the Men in Black, the memory thing to just erase it. I could relive trying all of these different cameras and trying out different film for the first time. There's just nothing like it, man. It's so much fun. So yeah, I'm stoked for you. I hope you have a good time with it. What do you think about the new Widelux medium format? Yeah, I'm stoked to see the new Widelux that's coming out. Anything new, I love to see, at least just to see what the possibilities are out there, and what the interest is in the market. Because like we were talking about earlier, there's been a lot of new stuff, some good, some great, some not so much. But anything new, it's exciting. So I'm curious to see what's going on, or what's going to happen with it. Got the 645 metal body. Hell yeah. That's the thing, especially when you like first get into it, if you're developing and scanning everything yourself, just having like your hands in all of the process, it just makes it that much more fun. What's a Widelux? It's a panoramic camera. So there's a new one that's coming out, panoramic, but the camera, or the lens, essentially like spins around. There's a little window. The lens doesn't spin, but there's a little window that will spin around the front of the lens. And so the exposure, the time, it's not a fast exposure. Check out Jeff Bridges' work with it. Yeah, well, can't really show it well on here. That's the other thing we'll get more eventually, is having the top down camera for the books on the stream. But yeah, Widelux, check out Jeff Bridges. He's got great work with it. But they're a lot of fun. It's now 10:30. It's about 42 in here. I think we're going to wrap it up here on this stream. But thank you all so much for joining me. Again, channel members, everything that I talked about earlier. If you want to watch the replays on any of the streams, They'll be up for channel members. So appreciate all of you. But any questions or anything you guys want to see, just let me know. Let me know in the comments, in emails, message me, anything at all. Just again, let me know. And yeah, thank y'all being here. Love all you guys. Hell yeah. Richard, I'll let you know, man. Hell yeah. Awesome. Love all you guys. Appreciate you being here. And I'll be back next week. I'll see you then.